welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about The Traitors, Season 3, Episode 7.
Man, the ghost of Bob the Drag Queen came and got Boston Rob, boy. Whew, you ready?
I'm ready.
Subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. Let's go.
So we've got Carolyn, Danielle, and Rob in the Tourette.
Mm-hmm.
Rob doesn't want to say who got the shield in his group, but he wants to go for Derek.
I actually forgot who had the shield in his group.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
Danielle says no. Derek told her that he doesn't have a shield. She doesn't want Derek to think that she would come after him.
Mm-hmm.
Also, she considers Derek a friend. They don't want to choose Dylan or Sam or Sierra, so they're kind of at a stalemate trying to figure out who they need to unalive.
Can you teach me something about the game, Blair?
Sure.
So, if I am a traitor and I don't know who has a shield, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I choose someone to eliminate from the game and they have a shield, do that make my elimination like
null and void?
So, and I will find that out at the dinner or something like that, or basically at the breakfast. And I'll be like,
in and they're like, I had a shield.
Really?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So the people come in and say, we are coming to get you. And they be like, I got a shield.
No, because they get the letter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I if I remember correctly, because it's only happened a few times, they get the letter that, oh, you would have been unalive, but thanks to your shield, you're safe or something like that.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I would have been so frustrated with Danielle during this whole process. She don't want to take out nobody. First of all, we lost the plot. Derek is not a friend. He's a faithful. Mm-hmm. You're a traitor. Your job, the point is to win the game. You get what I'm saying?
Danielle is a terrible traitor.
Danielle is a terrible traitor, and I don't understand why nobody's picking up on her always this emotional after every elimination.
Sierra was.
But that's the thing about it. It's like
she doesn't have the pool.
I'm going to talk about Sierra later on because I don't understand why Sierra's still in the game. I thought the whole point of keeping her alive was that, hey, at the round table, we go throw her to the wolves. You get what I'm saying? But listen here. I can sense Boston Rob's frustration because he was just trying to throw names out there. Carolyn was trying to throw out names and Danielle just kept saying no. Boston Rob even said Dylan, his friend, his boy. And he was like, no, we can't take out Dylan. He was like, we can't eliminate nobody.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But I was very concerned because all I was thinking is, Boston, do not take out Derek. Do not take out Derek. What was your thoughts if you had any?
Yeah, my only thought was I felt like they had to take out Derek.
Really?
Because Derek was coming so hard, and if Derek wouldn't have since he didn't get robbed that time, he was definitely going to get him the next time. And I think that Derek was going to be the one to basically unravel who the traitors were. So even if eliminating Derek would get Rob out quicker, at least Danielle and Carolyn could feel comfortable the fact of we have somebody who's really good at the game out.
Yeah, that's
true. So I'm all about getting the strongest players out. I'm not about getting Sam or Ivar or people who really have no clue what's going on.
Okay.
Let's get the people who'll figure things out.
Good strategy.
So next day at breakfast, Derek, we find out, was unalive.
I was so not mad, but I was more like, what? Even though Blair's strategy is proven to be correct, I was like, why did you do that, boss? Like, you only going to put that on yourself.
Yes.
Like
it's a double-edged sword.
Like,
that's right.
You put yourself in such a corner to where he said out his mouth, if I am unalive tonight, just know that it had to have been Boston Rob or Brittany. And I feel like Brittany was just a throw-in because of the argument that he had just in that moment.
Exactly.
But truth of the matter, the main subject was always Boston Rob. And I was like, why did you do that? Yeah.
So Danielle is crying. She's feeling guilty about Derek leaving. Derek was a huge threat to Rob's game.
Yeah.
Rob tells Dylan and Sierra that someone is trying to frame him. Tom notices people who have been a threat to Rob have been unalived. Alan then arrives and tells them that they will need to get into pairs because there will be a special ceremony and the bloodshed will be interesting tonight.
Yeah.
Dylan hints to Rob that Derek left him with a name. So Sierra is not buying these tears from Danielle and tells some of the ladies that are sitting beside her. Derek told Dylan that if he was unalived, it was either Rob or Brittany. Brittany and Derek had a blow up before he left, and he's telling this information to Rob.
Yeah.
Tom ends up running into them, and Dylan and Rob fill him in on Derek's theories. Tom tells Rob, look, there's some solid evidence against you. Like, what do you have for yourself?
You know what I mean?
Rob feels like people are framing him. Well, when Rob walks away, Tom tells Dylan not to forget what happened the previous day in the at the round table, and that there's a good chance that Rob's a traitor, but for some reason Dylan does not want to believe it.
See, here's the thing. I need people off my scent, right? So, unfortunately, let me start off with this. I don't know why Dylan wanted to tell that little information that Derek told him to Rob. You get what I'm saying? I understand you look up to Rob. You a fanboy.
He's fangirling too much.
Exactly, right?
It's getting in the way of his judgment.
Because, truth be told, if you would have caught Boston Rob off guard, I don't know how much he would have had time to prepare. Not saying that saved him, but I wonder with your strategy, Blair, right?
Yeah.
I feel like if I was Boston Rob and I got rid of Dylan instead, I could have used that as better evidence of I wouldn't get rid of my friend. Like I'm like that's my partner. Like I'm not a traitor. I wouldn't do this. So I felt like getting rid of Derek was too easy. Getting rid of Dylan would have been too polarizing in a way. But at the same time, I understand that hey, Dylan is the one that's going to give me my vote for whatever. But truth be told, as we see at the round table, Dylan on his own mission.
He is.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like, you don't even got Dylan. I would have eliminated Dylan just so I can be like, I am not the traitor. Like
to really try to frame Derek.
Yeah, or really try to, exactly. Like he's trying to frame me. That's the only way. You don't say I'm being framed by who?
Exactly.
The person the person that would have framed you, or we would have guessed that would have framed you, is the one that had the loudest voice saying it was you. But guess what? He's gone now.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, you should have took out Dylan. You get what I'm saying?
So we get to the mission. Each pair will go against another pair to battle for protection. 3 pairs will win, 3 will not. And if you last the full 8 minutes, then you will win money for the prize pot.
Yeah.
So the teams are Sam and Ivar versus Tom and Dylan, Sierra and Rob versus Dolores and Trishelle, Danielle and Brittany versus Gabby and Carolyn.
Yeah.
So they have to hold their hands together for 8 minutes without breaking from their partner in this like glass box that they fill with all these different animals. So they get the giant millipedes in, and Trishelle, before they even drop the millipede in, Trishelle grabs her hand back.
Come on, Trishelle. Dolores looked upset in like a little
Dolores
bit.
was like, come on now.
Yeah, you know.
Rob and Sierra are safe, but if they last the full 8 minutes, they win the money, which they end up winning. They add scorpions, little worms, bugs, and also snakes around people's shoulders. So a lot of the people, basically everyone except Trishelle and Dolores, ended up winning. So they have to do a tiebreaker, and they have to dig in the worms and bugs to find a ring. Yeah. So Ivar and Sam find the ring. They're safe. Danielle and Brittany also find the ring. They're safe as well.
Now listen here, right?
As well as Rob and Sierra.
Oh, yeah. Now, I know y'all probably looking at this channel, and y'all probably like, Chris, we know you're very masculine. We know your hair is long. You know, we know you're a handsome young fellow. You get what I'm saying? And I say thank you for the compliments. And you're probably thinking like, we know you would have been strong in this competition with the bugs and the snake and the scorpions and the worms. You are wrong there. Okay? Everything else you was right? It would have been Chris. Listen here. If me and Trishelle was together, we both would have put our hands out at the exact same time before that centipede, whatever that thing was, touch it. Blair knows I don't do bugs.
Yeah.
I don't do creatures of things that move fast or slimy and things like that. Blair said that she actually would have been able to do it.
Yeah, I would have been able to do it.
Nah.
Yeah, I don't mind animals and creatures and
it's all in your hair.
Bugs and animals and stuff like that. I can take a shower. It's
no, but it's still gonna be in your head though. Like you don't understand. Like it's still like you're gonna be just sitting down and something just gonna crawl from your forehead. Like it's gonna be in your hair forever.
Yeah, I would be okay.
Nah, not me. I would have been screaming, probably crying. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna hold you. I don't do, but don't get it twisted. It's not that I see a bug and I run away and things like that. But I have bug spray. Cause you know why? I can stand at a distance and I can and then you get what I'm saying? Yeah. And then I get a napkin and then I get it and things like that and I throw it away. So but like standing there letting it crawl on me, nah. Yeah. Can't do it.
So on the way back home, people are still thinking about Rob about Boston Rob possibly getting banished. So his name is on the tips of everybody's tongue.
Yeah.
And then the ladies, Trishelle, Dolores, and Sierra are saying that, why would he off Derek? There's a case to be made about Brittany, they believe. Sierra says that Brittany has been laying low, Brittany could sense the vibe when she was around the other ladies that they were probably suspecting her because they weren't really giving her eye contact. They weren't trying to give her too much about their thoughts or their strategies. Danielle isn't liking being strong-armed to get people out that she doesn't want to. She is not happy to hear Brittany's name floating around. So if there's an opportunity to get Rob out, she will definitely take that opportunity.
Danielle, remember, the whole point of the game is to get a faithful out. Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, maybe this, and truth be told, maybe the chaos in this season is making it a great season, because it's like the traitors are against each other, the faithfuls, it's like, and granted, I ain't gonna hold you, it is great TV, but I just don't understand Danielle's logic. And I think, like, because she's surviving and things of that nature, people probably thinking like, oh, she's not good, but like she's making it to the end. And my fear is, I think Danielle is going to make it to the end with all this chaotic movement and things like that. It's like, what was your strategy? I don't know. I just survived to the end, unfortunately, you know?
Well, what's interesting, I think it was like a Reddit thread or something that I was reading, and people were talking about how there probably is a game within the game that we're not seeing. So the game that the show wants to show us is the traitors, you know, getting out the faithfuls, the faithfuls coming to the round table to banish the traitors. But the game within the game could be that there might be some faithfuls who know or have a hunch of who the traitors are, but because they have an alliance or a friendship with the traitors, that they're never really going to put their neck out to get that particular traitor out. So it kind of makes me think about Dylan, that there's all this evidence about Rob, and Dylan, you know, has kind of been on the money with a lot of things. And even with a comment that Dylan made when Rob got banished, he was like, you know, it kind of sucks to see him go because he was my ally, even though he was a traitor. Like, maybe he was keeping me safe. And I think maybe that's part of the reason why some people aren't so quick to jump at a traitor. And then it makes me think about Danielle, to where, yes, she is going chaotic and crazy, but maybe there's something in the back of her head saying that I'm supposed to be getting faithfuls out, but I want to be careful with the faithfuls I choose, because the ones that are my friends or my alliance, they may not come after me and get me to stay in the game longer. So that's like maybe like an underlying thing that's happening, and I can see that being true.
I know I said that I'll be good at this game. If the game is being played like that, I would not be good at this game, okay?
There's a game within the game within the game.
I thought we were playing a game. I didn't know we were playing a game within the game within the game. And it's like, nah.
It's like Inception.
Exactly. I'm like, and how come I ain't got no allies? Like, you know, like, nah, I wouldn't have been good at this.
So we get to the round table. Dylan tells everyone that if Derek got unalived, he said that it was either Rob or Brittany.
Now, stop right there.
Yeah.
Dylan, I'm going to need you. If I was Rob, I would have been like, I need you to change that story. Because Derek's not here to defend himself. Don't say my name. Say Brittany. Only say Brittany. Yeah. Because it's going to bring heat towards me, and I'm not a traitor. But the whole point is, now he's already starting in the deficit, talk about Boston, because you unalive Derek. Like if Derek was still here, it just would have been, you would have to basically, in my opinion, I think people would believe Derek, but would they believe Derek over you? That's when you got to really hang on your celebrity and be like, they like me. So I got to be like, I'd rather go against Derek than basically like go against anybody else. You get what I'm saying?
So Brittany was shaking her head for Dylan, because they said Brittany was shaking her head for Dylan not to vote a particular type of way. And that's what made Derek consider Brittany as an option. But Brittany said she was only shaking her head because she didn't want Dylan to be pressured to vote for somebody he didn't really believe was a traitor. Brittany wanted him to go with his gut, but she says, you know, I've been playing the game. I've just been wrong about everybody. Sam says that the evidence is going towards Rob. The third time in the row, you know, were people who went after Rob, they ended up leaving. Tom says the only traitor that was gotten out was by Rob. Dolores just completely disregards Rob as a possible traitor. And that's what gets me about the show, is it can be anybody,
but not Rob.
So for people to be so sure of who it's not, I'm like, I don't know how y'all come to those conclusions. Only person you know who's not a traitor is you.
That's the only one.
So she gives Dylan the credit for getting Bob the drag queen out, not necessarily Rob. Now, Rob defends himself.
Here we go.
He says that he is a faithful. Wes and Derek teamed up because they were both faithfuls to come after him. And Derek leaving raises a suspicion against him.
Yeah.
Who knew Derek didn't have a shield? And then he lists the people who knew that Derek did not have a shield. He says only those people were with him, during the game when they were playing the game. And they're the ones who should be the suspects. The one person Rob thinks who understands game moves and strategies is Brittany. And he tells her that basically as a compliment, but also she's like the ultimate game player.
Yeah. Now, based off this speech, do you feel like Boston Rob made like a good case?
I felt like the evidence was just too much for him to come up against because it was literally person after person after person who said his name or who alluded his way. And it kind of was a domino effect that after Bob, I mean, he was getting out all of the people who were coming for him personally.
Yes.
And it just, I don't think there was a way for him to pull himself out. But I will say, I do think that was a good strategy to say the people who were around Derek, who knew he didn't have a shield, should be suspected because they're the only ones who knew. I think that was a good strategy, but you got too much evidence against you.
Okay. Now listen here, right? I'm about to tell y'all my strategy.
Let's hear it.
Now, granted, I have the benefit of actually watching someone else play and actually watching revisionist history, so I don't know what I would have did in the moment.
Right.
But this is what I would have did in the moment, right? Number one, we are not doing another round table without throwing Sierra name out there. There's no way I'm wasting a round table without throwing Sierra name out there. We went from, hey, the people who were in the coffins, usually a traitor is in one of them. Jeremy was unalive, I think it was, right? And then we thought it was Nikki. Okay, it's not Nikki. There's only one other person who was in the coffin, Sierra. So we're not going to just that's the main reason why we didn't unalive her that night as traitors, because we want her to be banished by the round table.
Yeah.
Cool.
To save us another week.
Right? That is really the only currency that we have. Currency talking about, oh no, I can't take out Derek because he trusts me, or I can't take out Dylan because he trusts me. That's my ally. That's fake currency. That's not real currency. Because what is the trust you want? What is that? Oh, they listened to me at the round table, but eventually that currency is going to run out because you're going to keep giving up bad names, and they're going to be like, okay, you got Bob the drag queen out, but everybody else after that has been faithfuls.
Exactly.
So it's like, in order for that currency to keep running up, you would have to keep giving up traitors. And why would you keep giving up a traitor? That's why I'm like, it's the ghost of Bob the drag queen, right? Because the minute that Rob has basically came out and said that, you said my name and I basically have to come back and get you, and Carolyn said in the Tourette,
yes,
that was an ego move. You know what I mean? I understand that, hey, he said my name. He did say it in passing. I don't know how many people heard it, but hey, it was out there. And I understand that Bob the drag queen does have to go, but I wouldn't have him go by my hands, right? The same way as when we go see the votes, how Carolyn and Danielle voted for Rob. No one can say that Carolyn got Boston Rob out, or no one can say Danielle got Boston Rob out. But as people are saying, Boston Rob got Bob the drag queen out. So it's like, you don't want that on your back.
Yeah, it's too much of a spotlight. You're making the block hot for yourself.
And some would say, no, Boston, some would say Bob the drag queen actually was too much, and he was too boisterous, and he was all these things. Actually getting a traitor out, what Boston Rob did, I would actually say is more of a spotlight than what Bob the drag king was ever doing, right? Because now what do I have to do to keep that currency up? I have to give up another traitor. So the only way, in my opinion, that I think Derek would have got off his back is if Boston Rob would have gave up another traitor. If he would have gave up Danielle or Carolyn and said, like, look, I'm trying to tell you, like, I know how to play the game. I know who.
Right.
Like that's the only way. It's not me. I'm trying to tell. That's the only way. So you're gonna hurt yourself to basically to basically survive. That makes no sense. Also, we have to stop throwing random names into the round table.
Oh goodness, yes.
Like Brittany. Where'd Brittany come from?
Derek, but why are we allowing Derek to have run of the mill in the house?
Yeah.
Like, Dylan, what do you think?
Exactly. Like, it's the randomness of it all. So the whole point of a round table is that, look, Alan is his name, the host?
Yes.
He give us, let's say, 30 minutes to discuss, right? Hey, just because it ends at this round table, the 30 minutes, doesn't mean we don't continue the conversation at the next round table. That doesn't mean it's a whole reset and we just start throwing random names in there. No. So anyway, as I was saying in the last episode, so that's why I'm like, I don't know how Sierra survived. I don't know why Brittany's name was thrown in there and things of that nature. Well, I know why, because Rob was trying to survive and things like that. But no, we're going to continue conversations. And now, look at you. Now you got to try to convince people off a deficit. Like, it was a terrible, I think it was a bad strategy for him to go after Bob the drag queen the way he did. He had to do it in a way that his hands was clean.
Right.
Was there any way is there any anything else you want to add to my fake strategy that I said I would have did in the game, but I'm only doing it off my couch?
No, I feel like my strategy, I'm always going for the strongest players. Yeah. And the thing is, if Rob would have gone for Derek sooner or Wes sooner as far as unaliving them, his name wouldn't have even come up at the round table. Ooh. Like, they were going for these housewives and these people who really had no clue of what was going on.
Bad bias.
And I was just like, you could have, as much as I'm not a fan of Robin on Potomac, you could have kept Robin in. Robin didn't know north from south, from east from west. Robin could have stayed for a little bit for me as a traitor, because she is not on my scent. Yeah. But for the people who are really kind of putting pieces of the puzzle together, y'all gotta go before my name comes up.
Dude, matter of fact, to your point, if you was humble enough in the game, Boston, right? Yeah. The minute that Bob the drag king would have said, I think one of the new guys are a traitor.
Yeah, I would have said, I think it might be Wes.
I think it might be Garrett.
Exactly. I would have used that to my advantage and not shot myself in the foot and not by losing the trust of my traitors. I'd be like, ooh, Bob, that's a good idea, Wes.
Yeah, exactly.
Why did you bring your head up here to put on top of somebody else's body? That's crazy.
But instead, he was like, I'm gonna get you. It's like, that's all that Boston Rob been doing is, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you, Bob H. I'm gonna get you, Wes. I'm gonna get you, Derek. I'm gonna get you, Bob the drag queen.
And in a way, as a traitor, it's not good to play a selfish game, because all signs point to you. You gotta move as if the other traitors are other limbs of your body. Like, y'all gotta work together, you know? Yeah.
But like I said, I'm watching from the comfort of my home. If I was in the game, I'd probably be just like Robin. I think it's Gabby too, Dylan. You know what I mean? I'd be like so that's why I'm like, you should have unalived Dylan, because Dylan's in it for himself. Dylan is not in it for the sake of let's all get the traitor out. He wants to be the only one right. He wants to be the smartest one in the room. Yeah. That's why whenever he do Gabby, he said, I think y'all all off. You know what I mean? I don't understand why y'all going with this. Truth be told, Dylan, you've been wrong every time. Truth be told, like, you only been right about Bob the drag queen, kind of, right? You weren't even convicted with that, really. Boston Rob had to come and basically force your hand to do it, because when we came to the round table, you did not speak up. But it is what it is. Eventually, he's going to get his Gabby, right? And then it's going to be proven that it's not Gabby. Yeah. And then now what, Dylan?
And then I guess the other thing I want to add to my strategy, Wes said at one point that, like, he was paying attention to how people were voting.
Help me.
Like, the people who have been on Survivor were all kind of voting the same. Like, initially in the beginning, people who were on, like, Big Brother, like, might have been closer with each other. So I want to break up these big groups of people who would outweigh the vote. Yeah. If they all kind of get word or get wind of one of the traitors' names. If there's 5 survivors and there's like 3 housewives, I need to start picking at the survivors, because y'all are moving as a united front. And that's not going to work when it comes for banishment.
That's fact.
So you got to work the numbers too.
Listen here, man. We are good at traitors. We are
from our couch.
From our couch. You know what I'm saying? Help me with the votes, Blair.
All right. So Dylan ended up voting for Gabby. He doesn't think it's Rob or Brittany.
Okay, well, guess what?
Carolyn and Danielle both voted for Rob, and Rob has been banished. And he reveals, of course, that he is a traitor.
Dude, you know what's funny? When Dylan flipped over that thing and it said Gabby, Boston Rob's face was like, you idiot.
I literally rolled my eyes so hard. I was like, what are you doing, Dylan?
Listen, that is what Boston Rob did too, because he was like, I know Dylan's going to vote for, like, he's going to vote. Like, he needed that Brittany name. He did need Brittany. And he was like, oh my goodness, this kid is an idiot. And his brother can't act. Like, it just, all of the insult just came into his head. Go ahead.
Rob said that he would have went to the end with Carolyn, and he thinks that Danielle was a bad game player and a bad traitor.
Truth be told, you was a bad traitor. Even though I do think Danielle is a bad traitor, you are worse than her, unfortunately, because you did not game it. Instead of, you took things personally and be like, he's onto my scent. What do you mean my? Ours.
Yes.
Like, you get what I'm saying? So the same way as Bob the drag queen said, I think it's one of the guys in the cages, you should have worked with Bob the drag queen to eventually turn on him, or eventually have the house turn on him to where your hands can be forever clean. But you want to be the star too. And that's probably why you and Dylan get along. You know what I'm saying?
So Alan tells everyone that 6 players are at risk of being unalived.
Yeah.
Dylan, Tom, Trishelle, Dolores, Gabby, and Carolyn. They'll walk down the church's aisle alone and await their fate. One will not return, but the traitors will off the person face to face.
Dude, you know what's actually funny about this?
What's that?
I was just thinking about Tom. Like, you remember when Tom and whoever he was talking to, I think it was Tom and Dolores, got into their little spat last week?
Yes.
And then that's when Derek was like, all right, kids. Enough with y'all, right?
Yes. Let's get to business.
And it goes to your point, right? Even though Tom may have led the charge on getting a traitor out, no one's ever going to think that was traitor on traitor crime right there. People just go basically pat Tom on the head like, good job, Tom. Like, you actually got one right.
Yeah.
But that's why I said I would have got Tom out first. You're looking at me weird, sir. You would have been out first. Carolyn, you don't never talk. You always look nervous. You make me nervous. You're getting out second. Like, I want to feel comfortable in the house.
If Carolyn wasn't faithful.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, either way. Yep, 100%.
So Dylan says that Rob had the wool pulled over his eyes.
You pulled it down yourself.
They got a traitor, but he also lost an ally. Rob may have been protecting him in the Tourette. And that's why, it brought back to mind what I read in that Reddit post of just like, there probably is a game within
it. It is a game. And you know what's funny about that statement?
Yeah. Boston
wasn't even doing that. He was willing to give you up.
He did throw your name out there.
And truth be told, Danielle and Carolyn probably was the ones that stopped him. He threw your name out there. So this whole thing of, oh, he probably was just protecting me. Get the wool over your eyes, bro. He was willing to throw your name out there too, okay?
Yes. So Tom is glad to have some respect at the round table.
I don't think you do.
But Danielle and Carolyn meet in the Tourette. Danielle is trying to reassure Carolyn, I got you. I got your back. We got Rob out. Like, let's really move forward as a team. Carolyn says, well, you don't have my back before you got Brittany's back.
Ooh.
And Danielle says she owes her because she did do Carolyn dirty and she has to have Carolyn's back.
Now, I got to give Carolyn her respect because she said it in one of her confessions. She said, I'm a gamer.
Yeah.
Like, I don't look that way. I don't come off that way, but I'm a gamer. And truth be told, I can't be mad at the one that's still in the game while Boston Rob is going home, right? Because he done shot himself in the foot, right? Yeah. Is this the end of the episode?
Well, we get to everybody walking down to the church and they're giving their last speeches.
Yeah.
And then they turn around and we are pretty much left on a cliffhanger to find out who gets unalived.
Yeah, and I think the ones that's going is Tom, Dolores, Dylan. I think those are the ones. And I think Gabby.
Trishelle and Carolyn are all the ones.
Oh,
Trishelle. Not. So let me repeat. Sorry.
Okay.
So I already said the 6 players who are at risk, but the thing is, we know Carolyn is a traitor, so it's just 5, which is Dylan, Tom, Trishelle, Dolores, and Gabby.
Okay, out of those 5, who should be eliminated? It's only one right name.
At this point, I think Dylan.
That's the only right name to go for. That's literally the only right name to go for.
Dylan's been too vocal. Dylan's been leading the charge on different things. It's time to get the strong players out. Let's stop playing around.
Exactly. It's going to be, because you could get a 2-for-1 here. Listen here, traders. This is how you get a 2-for-1. You take out Dylan, right? Then you frame Gabby. Like literally, it's a layup.
Yeah, and buy yourself another week at the round table.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, that's all. If you take out any of these other people, it's literally a waste of elimination.
Correct.
Right? Take out Dylan. Hey, I just want to say, every week, Dylan been writing your name, Gabby. Even when all of us said Boston, even though all of us said this name, Nikki, he consistently said your name, Gabby. I just feel like you would have motive to take him out. And guess what? When she's proven unfaithful, guess what? You're winning because you're getting the faithfuls out.
Right.
Don't lose the plot, okay? Don't lose the plot.
Yeah.
Anything else?
That's all I got.
Subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. We see y'all.
Bye.